Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Hugging My Chaos, and welcome back to Journal Thoughts. And this season, Journal Thoughts has opened my eyes to realize that there's a lot of things that I don't feel proud of. Like I don't really like to read the journals because it just reminds me of the person that I was, And I finally understand what my dad used to tell me when I was growing up. He never wanted to watch the old videos of like our childhood because he said that it reminded him of his past, of how he was, and he did not like that person. So he just does not like watching those videos. And same for me, like I was reading the journals. I do not like reading them because I just get annoyed. I'm like, why were you so toxic? Why were you so limited to a certain perspective, to one perspective only? And next week, I'm going to talk about the past and I'm going to talk about like all those beautiful things that the past has to offer. But today, I want to focus on that. I want to focus on the patterns that I found because I was reading the journal, especially the 2019, and it's different experiences. It's the same experience, just different characters. It's the same shit, just different characters. Like literally the same problems, just with different people, different days, different emotions. But at the same time, it's you read it. I'm like, dude. We've learned this in February. Why are you trying to solve this right now? It's like June. Like we gotta get over this. Like it's time to move to another problem. To like evolve. I got stuck in one single thing for the whole like for many years, and it's just a cycle of misery. It's just a cycle of repeating the same emotions, repeating the same feelings, having the same thoughts, just different characters, just different friends, just a different environment, just a different school. And that brings me back to the point of, if if you're having to live the same experience all over again as time goes by, is there a possibility that you are the problem? Is there a possibility that if you feel alone, if you feel like your friends don't support you, if you feel empty inside, if you don't have a good relationship with your parents, if you don't feel confident, is there a possibility that it's your problem? It's your fault that you're feeling this way? And it's important to think about this because, like I said, I feel like life, well, I've never said this, but I feel like life will always bring us the same problems until we are able to discover that we are the problem and we're also the solution, until we're able to acknowledge that we have to make changes. Because if we don't change our mentality or how we see a certain situation, we're just gonna wonder, and we're gonna face the same problems in a year, in a month, because it's not the problem, it's not the external problem, it's not the external world that's causing you to feel this way. It's you who are tolerating a certain treatment. It's you who is having the same thoughts, the same mentality. So you won't be able to solve any problems, because the problems are just, if you try to cover it up, if you try to superficially solve the external world, change friends, change relationships, move houses, move schools, you will still face the same problems, because it wasn't them, it was you. Just think about this. If everything and if everyone hates you, is there a possibility that it's your fault? Not your fault that you're hateable, but maybe, yeah, what if you do have traits that make you hateable? What if you are not a true friend? What does your environment say about you? It's important to ask these questions, because oftentimes we blame other people, we blame the external world, we blame everything around us, and we've never take responsibility. We never say that it's our fault, because that will mean that if it's our fault, we will have to solve it, and that takes a whole like lot of work. So it's easier to blame people. But reading the journals, I was like, I was blaming everyone. And at the end of the day, like, I thought everyone had drama. I thought everyone was dramatic. But at the end of the day, it was me. I was the problem. I was the person who was filled with a lot of drama, who was very intoxicated with her thoughts. It was me. It was me. But I've never noticed that. I was always blaming other people. So think about that. You're the problem. You're the problem. It's you. It's you. And it's important to acknowledge this because, like I said, once you acknowledge that you're the problem, you can also know that you're the solution to your problems. You have the answers. You can change your environment, your friendships, your relationships, your the way you talk to your parents. You can change the way you treat your siblings. You can change how good you do in school. Like, you can change that by just changing who you are, by just changing the habits, the negative habits that got you to a negative place. And talking about you are the problem, which is the topic of this conversation. Why are you the problem? If you have a low frequency state, a low energy, what's it called? A low mental state, if you're always negative, if you're always criticizing people, if you're always in a limited space where you're just blaming everyone externally, you're gonna attract those people into your life. Why? And this is not some spiritual thing. Like, it's logic. Like, if you criticize everyone, you're gonna attract someone who criticizes everyone too, because the person who is on a different mental state, who's focused on their goals, who's focused on their mission, who's focused on helping people, won't even want to be next to you because they understand the power of influence. However, you, with the same mentality, with the same negative thoughts, with the same negative patterns, you're gonna find people who are like you, and both of you are gonna harm each other. Both of you are gonna show each other how to be more toxic. And that's why it's your problem. Because if you change your focus, if you change your purpose, if you change where your energy is going, where your thoughts are going, you're able to even change your friendships. You're able to impact different areas of your life because you won't tolerate something different than that. You won't tolerate something that's not you. You only tolerate what reflects your values. You only tolerate your what oh my god, I lost it. You only tolerate who you are, what you believe in, what values you have. You are just Your friends are just a reflection of who you are. Your partner is just a reflection of who you are. The relationships that you have with everyone else is just a reflection of what you tolerate and what you expect. It's just a reflection. And that's what I want to tell myself. Like, you gotta be honest. You gotta acknowledge that you're the problem, and you gotta stop blaming people, and you gotta take responsibility, and you got to change your mentality, because you cannot solve, like Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem with the same mindset that created that problem. So it's important to change it, to change your habits, and that takes time. But it's worth it. It's worth it because that breaks the cycle. That breaks the cycle, and it's the first step for everything. Awareness will always be the first step for any change. But with that being said, anyways, next week, I'll talk to you about a different concept of the past, like good and bad, the good and bad of the past. You probably know what I'm gonna say, but it's a bit different because it also includes the good memories as well. Anyways, have a good day, and remember to hug yourself and hug that crazy chaos of yours.